How's it going, Sha?
Fine. I'm fresh out of physical therapy, so if you're watching the video of this and you're like, "Wow, she looks rough." Thank you. I That's the glow of bending my knee 20 times in a row.
Oh yeah.
Um if you were looking at this on video and you're like, "Nah, she looks exactly the same." Thank you. I really don't do much to myself. I just wiped the grime off my face and put on a little cheek stain and let's go.
Oh man, you yeah, a bit of behind the scenes, inside baseball. Shy texted me a couple times, saying, "Hey, I'm running a little late. Let's push the start time back." Every time she texts me, I had just discovered a new problem with my computer. So
Really?
like every shot on God, every single time you text me, I was like 2 minutes from texting you to say we might not pod. Real talk, yo. Like when I got downstairs, I set everything up to put my lights on, and before your first text,
Mhm.
the computer was turning on, but my keyboard wasn't working. So
Oh.
like the computer was like, "Listen, I saw Shaz running late. Um, I don't want to work fully either right now. Okay, we gotta. I need physical therapy too." And I
Yeah,
was like, "Okay,
yeah, that's fair,
I
that's
feel
fair.
you." And like I was trying to, I spend most of the time trying to figure out how can I work. I think I could record the show without typing. I've already done most of the pre-typing. You know what I mean? Maybe I could just use the mouse for this next 2 hours.
Right,
So
right.
I'm doing that, and I'm like, nah, man, that's really handcuffing me. And like
Mhm.
I'm sure there's gonna be like a moment where instinctually I'm gonna be typing and nothing's gonna be happening. And I
Right.
don't need the audience to see me panic over keyboard.
No, no one wants that.
Yeah. So I was like, let me try this again. I saw your text. I was like, okay, the computer knew what I didn't know. You know what I mean? I get it. It happens. They work together. They in their own
Sure,
system. So I was
sure,
like, okay.
sure.
I respond to shot. Oh, no worries. We good. Take your time. I got
Mhm.
problems over here too. You don't know about. Everything gonna work out. I hit restart. The computer come back and it's like, oh, what? You ain't want to give my keyboard the day off. You know what I mean? You ain't want to give me desk duty today. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like somebody in at UPS being like, "Yo, B, my shoulder hurt. Can I work in the office today?"
Right.
I feel them. That was me. Like that. I'm saying that from my perspective. I said that all the time at the building. Like, yo, listen, I'm 40, my G. I can't be throwing these boxes today. Can I? Like, I'm gonna push envelopes. You know.
Right. Sure.
I need a
Okay.
day of that every night. I gotta recover. I'm gonna still
Mhm.
work. I just can't do that work 5 days a week.
Right.
So I felt the computer when it told me that. But the computer was like, yo, you ain't listening. I'm still here for you. I just can't do that. So it was
Okay.
like, word, I'm gonna restart for you. The keyboard gonna work, but now you ain't gonna see what you typing. Screens both off. Yo. So like I heard the clickety clack.
Right.
I would hit enter, I would hear shit start. Just
Uh-huh.
couldn't tell you what was happening.
Oh my
You
gosh.
know what I mean? And that's when you text me, yo, I just walked in. I'm gonna need like 10 minutes. I'm like, shot, I might need 20. Real talk.
Uh,
So yeah, I hit restart on that, and at the same time, I was restarting. I was now initially starting my laptop just in case I had
mhm.
a pivot there.
Right.
Like, all right, maybe the laptop is going to be the one today. But I think at that point, the computer was like, "Yo, hold up, B, you ain't gonna let that dude on my route. He's gonna mess up my whole
Gonna mess up
situation. Now I
all the
gotta fix
things.
that next week."
Right.
I've been there. I know when the shitty work covers to you on vacation is worse than going on vacation. So I finally the computer was like, all right, listen, man, I'm gonna work, but keep that dude away from my stuff.
Right, right.
And I put the laptop away and everything turned back on.
Oh my gosh.
Real talk. It was a journey.
That's a lot. Yeah, I mean, I made the appointment and I was like, "That's enough time for me to get back." And I mean, in theory, it was enough time for me to get back here to start. But I forgot about Trader Joe's, and, there's a Trader Joe's near the physical therapy, and, it's, you know, it's right it's on my way home, in the sense that I gotta leave that area anyway,
Okay,
you know?
okay.
I gotta walk 3 blocks over to it, but then I still gotta walk over to the train station to come home, so it's like, yeah, this is in the area, this works, as opposed and, um, at the time that I'm going, there aren't a lot of people in there.
That's rare at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, usually, and, because the other one that is convenient to me is the one that's, like, Union Square, and that's,
Okay.
like, one of the NYU, if not the NYU Trader Joe's.
Right.
So, I could spend my whole lunch hour in line, thinking I'm just gonna run in to get something real quick. I that is when I do that on my lunch break, that's me deciding, either I brought lunch or I grab something quick and then go to Trader Joe's and waste my lunch hour and then rush back to the office and then eat the quick thing that I got from somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, there's planning because that is still the better part of the day to be in there because I can't
Ah,
after work, the
that's
line for the
madness.
yeah, it's just completely around the perimeter of the store.
The
Eh, so
the line at Trader Joe's is the one, like, I know it's crazy because it's one of the few things that Gabby won't make me do.
okay, yeah,
Like,
no, you
even she's like, if we need something as a family,
mhm,
and like she's like, "Hey, make a run to the store." It don't matter what time of day, like, and to be clear, I'm not complaining. Like, that's she's doing way more than me at the house. I'm
right,
gonna deal with that. Like,
mhm,
so I've been in line behind like 17 people because we needed like, ginger
right,
or whatever at 7 p.m. I get it,
mhm.
whatever. But if it's a Trader Joe's thing, even she's like, "Yo, we chalk that up to an L for today. Okay, we're gonna get that
Yeah,
another
we'll
day."
get that another time. Yeah, that's why it's like, "Oh, great, this Trader Joe's is here, not a lot of people are here right now, let me do this now so that even if there is a line, I'm like, well, at least it's not, you know, at least I'm closer to home.
Yo,
It's not like I gotta schlep all of this from Manhattan into Brooklyn. I am already in Brooklyn
yeah, you here?
and on 1 train line as opposed to 2 or whatever it is I gotta do. Like, yeah, but that also I absolutely have walked into a Trader Joe's scene where, like, the line gets so long, there's usually someone's job to just hold a sign that says "End of line here,"
Yeah.
or "Line starts here," or whatever, and if I walk in and I see that person, like, pretty close to me, I just whoop, I just turn around and walk out
Real
because 'cause
talk.
I'm
You
like,
greeting people outside and telling
"Yeah,
me where the line
right,
starts?
nope, no thank you." Not for
Real
no
talk.
little, uh, snack pizzas or whatever it is I'm getting in there. I
Yeah,
can
B.
we'll try again. We'll try again.
We'll be back. We'll be back. I do
Yeah.
I do respect that as a store, it's led to me doing more small frequent shopping. So like even though it's a bit more expensive than like, my local supermarket, I feel less wasteful. And I feel more prone to experiment on the fruit or vegetable.
Oh, yeah, sure. I guess for fruits and vegetables, depending on your local grocery store, it could be a bit more expensive, but it also could be cheaper.
Right. Yeah, there's some stuff that is
Yeah,
dope
I
in
mean,
price.
it's not like that, uh, bad. Like,
Yeah, no, I rock with it.
I think people put it in the same, like, category as Whole Foods
No, it
because
shouldn't be.
they're considered, like, I don't wanna say specialty grocery stores, but just like, a particular chain that doesn't have what is at all of the other grocery stores.
Right.
Like, Whole Foods has its own brand and Trader Joe's, almost everything in there is Trader Joe's brand.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so you're thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be expen" now Trader Joe's isn't like your it's it's a glorified, like, mini mart, kinda,
Right, right.
with nice with a pretty good produce section and a nice frozen foods a very nice frozen food section.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
you
his
know
strength, low key.
Yeah, for sure. But, like, you know, it's not y don't go in there shopping for a family of 4 unless all 4 of you are college kids who, like frozen meal, like butter chicken or something. If that's all of you, then yeah, knock yourselves out, which is why that NYU one is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
They
popping there.
Here's how much it's popping. Next to the Union Square store, they used to have a Trader Joe's wine shop because when Trader Joe's, when it started out, it it started selling wine, and
Right,
they were famous for what they called 2 Buck Chuck, which
right.
was a wine that was named Charles something, but they managed to sell it for like $2, and it was a pretty decent bottle of wine. And, 2 Buck Chuck is probably like 3.50 now or something like that. But so here in New York, I can't remember if you guys sell wine in your grocery stores.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
We sell, like,
So
the fake stuff, the
okay.
yeah, like
So
wine mixture or some shit.
they had right. Okay. So they had to separate the wine shop because they went on to, like, really Trader Joe's went on to carry, quite a selection of wine. They had to separate that from the regular grocery store. So
Oh,
right next door to it was Trader Joe's wine shop, and then, um, the workers started to unionize, and, like any hot-blooded American company, they did not like that, Trader Joe's did not, and so the wine sellers, they did manage to join a union, and so then Trader Joe's shut the store, saying that it was like I believe they said the landlord was asking too much money, like their rent was going up in a way that they couldn't afford, which is insane. Because again, the line starts on the street to the
yo.
to the cashiers. So they closed the wine shop, um and then it was just like, maybe we can place you at other stores. And then that same space reopened as Trader Joe's Pronto. Now, Trader Joe's Pronto is just some of the frozen most popular frozen food stuff or snack stuff or food stuff in general,
Okay.
just over on the side, just in there.
Is its own store?
It's yeah, Pronto, Trader Joe's Pronto, so you don't have to wait in a line, so I guess, like, they don't have, like, the produce section or,
Okay.
that kinda thing, but, I mean, like, their produce. It's not like it's a huge produce section, so it's just like a mini mart version of the oversized mini mart that it is, and they, put that there, and I was just like and it's been a couple years since they've done that because this was, when when employees were trying to unionize and companies were freaking the fuck out over it.
Yeah.
Um, and it is still there, and I still see people, like, going in and coming out, and I'm like, "What?" So that's how much that location is popping, that they have basically a store and a mini me next door to each other, and they both have been running like ain't no thing.
Real talk. Trader Joe's is popping.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of all the stuff I can't eat anymore.
Sure.
From Trader Joe's. They're
Yeah.
the sea salt chocolate chip cookies, crazy.
Mm,
Cranberry white chocolate cookies, crazy.
okay.
All their knockoffs of all my favorite cereals, fire.
Oh, sure. I
Real
mean,
talk.
who knows? Maybe they've discontinued them. 'Em. They're
That would be
big on
sad.
doing that shit.
Yeah, real talk. Low key, I haven't seen the cranberry cookies in a minute. Now you mention it.
Yeah, it probably got too big and they were like, "Nah, we can't." Or their distribution. I have been reading a book about, grocery stores, which I don't know if I've mentioned on here before.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I'm not quite done with it. I'm almost all the way done with it, but I started reading it months ago, and then life happened, and I just stare into space. But um, one chapter is about like the history of Trader Joe's and how the guy came up with it. Um,
Oh,
and he kind of came up with it based on like, what if we did a more grocery store version of 7-Elevens when those started? Like, that's literally and started dealing with vendors that no one else was dealing with because they were starting to open like the birth of the true supermarket as we know it,
right.
big stores, um, who they could deal with to buy in bulk. So that guy started dealing with smaller farms and stuff to get things for a smaller amount of stores, and, but it then he could market it to a more discerning customer, like that kinda
Right.
thing. And
That's
this
kind
was
of
like,
fire.
50s, 60s he was doing this, because the advent of, like, the interstate, highways, and
Right.
so putting them in anywho, I love marketing books like that.
Yo.
I love books about marketing, shit like that, so I was like, "Grocery stores? I love grocery stores." Like, this guy who wrote it also, went on he rode along with someone who's delivering, like, driving a semi, to deliver groceries and what that is like, the way in and where they're going, and, like,
Yeah.
being a truck driver and all that kinda stuff, and then people trying to get their products into selling them at grocery stores, so conventions where people are doing that, and anywho, so if it seems like this bitch knows a lot about Trader Joe's, that is why.
I
That
love
is
this.
why.
So just as you know, I worked at Frito.
Right.
I was in a potato chip game for a long time.
Mhm.
There is a alternate universe where I am a very successful bodega deli grocery store owner.
Right.
Real talk. Like I don't people do not know how close I came to doing this, but there so in almost every job, uh there is a group of managers that they get to a point to where they realize that the math don't math in the sense that like, oh, we're talented, but like there's 30 of us and only one next job,
Mhm,
you know?
mhm.
So they start figuring out like, hey, like I'm good. Should I start looking at other companies? Or should I come up with a business? So me and a few of the Frito dudes were debating heavily on doing a store flipping business where like we had a ton of data,
Mhm.
a disproportionate amount, and we were I would say the grinders at our jobs. Like we worked
Right.
a disproportionate amount. We were debating on buying like stores that we knew had potential based on the numbers we knew about to
Okay.
like grow exponentially because of where they were,
Mhm.
and they were just being mismanaged for a variety of reasons, whether it was like uh this owner's been here for 40 years and just hasn't kept up with what
Right,
is
what's
currently in
happening.
the market,
Mhm.
or there's a really affordable price on the rent in his building, and like etc.
Right.
um so yeah, like there's a version of me that I think says, yeah, I went in on that. I came really close to doing this and then found comedy.
Oh, wow.
Literally, I'm
Hey.
talking like I had done like maybe a year's worth of recon on this
Okay.
job. Like we had money aside to like put together and buy the first two stores. Like I was in on this. And
Mhm.
then I did a comedy show and I was like, nah, this kind of fire.
Oh, wow.
you
That's so funny.
know what I
Hey,
mean? And
man, I've worked mostly retail up in yeah, and so there's a world where I'm a merchandiser at the Gap, if all of the managers didn't look exactly the same. But, like, that was, like, my first real, like, retail job,
yeah,
and I started, like I was like, "I'll do mostly stock." Like, I don't
yo,
feel like being out there pushing socks on anyone. So, doing stock and they're like, "Great, you know what? 2 months in, you're the stock supervisor. You got this. Here are all the numbers you gotta hit." And I'm like, "Oh, shit, okay." And, doing all of that and then learning what they're doing in the office and all this other stuff, but every manager had their thing that they liked doing,
right.
and a guy came in, and he really liked merchandising, which was something I had to do anyway, which is just putting together the displays. So,
Oh,
and you have a book or a planogram that you
hell
work
yeah.
from, and so there's just, okay, we gotta build out this wall. Okay, they want this in the alcove. Okay, here's what the windows need to look like. And me and him are just boop, 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 changing, dressing these mannequins, and I'm building walls on the, slat walls and hanging shit and dragging T stands everywhere and blah. And I actually loved it.
Yo.
I did like it a lot. It was the dealing with customers that I was like, "Ugh," and the only reason I left the Gap was because they put a Gap Kids in our Gap. Gap
Yeah.
Kids was starting up instead of finding like, having the storefront next to ours or expanding our store. They were just
Right.
like, "We're gonna take everything you have and cram it, and then we're gonna put in kids' clothes." And I was like, "Ooh, I don't work with children." And they're like, "Ah, that's funny." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm fully serious. I don't wanna work with kids, and I feel like I'm not going to have the freedom to do." First, you're asking too much of the store, let's be honest. You found room for an Old Navy in the small, but you can't expand the Gap one for kids? I call bullshit, and,
Mhm.
um, I don't think you're all gonna have me babysitting these children on the floor rather than doing what I need to do, and I'm not gonna do it. So I
Mhm.
was like, my last night, we closed the store for a day and we built out the store for the kids. And I was like, my last day is going to be us doing that. Like, when we do
Whoa.
that, after I help you build out the store and set up the kids shit, deuces. And that is what I did.
Yo, real
And
talk,
they thought
yo.
I was kidding. And I was like, no, I gave you like my notice. I wrote it down. And they're like, okay. And
What
I'm
is your
like,
last day? When will the kids arrive?
yeah, like, when you open for the public the next day, I won't be there. Oh, so, yeah, but
That's wild. I love planogram shit though. Like,
oh, I love
uh,
planograms.
that shit is fire. Real talk,
What a
like
turn this has taken. We love planograms. Um, but I
real
know
talk.
I've mentioned, reading the books Why We Buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that book so much about the psychology of why we buy stuff and how they're set up, and then there was another one about malls, by the same guy. Paco Underhill is the author's name, and I can't say enough about those books. I absolutely love them, but
Yo.
what a niche thing to be into. For
Yo,
someone
cause like
who's not I am not business-minded at all, but I love some of that marketing shit, I kinda love.
real talk. That shit, it like scratches a weird itch.
Right.
I don't know how to like it's one of the reasons I'm actually happy I left because it started feeling like evil superpower shit. Like yo, real talk. Cause like I became a manager at Frito because I was really good as a salesperson. But all
Right,
that meant is that like I understood planogram. So like all of
right.
my like stores as a sales rep, like I stuck to planogram. I knew how to deviate when a new product was introduced, whatever. So for everyone like not aware, planogram is literally just how you where you place products, and it has to like there's science behind it. So like sometimes it's based on the colors and how it attracts customers.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's based on like eye level of the average customer height. So
Right?
like they'll place certain products in certain places on a shelf to draw your attention.
Mhm.
So like it got to a place to where like Gabby hated shopping with me when I worked as a manager
Oh,
because
yeah.
I would be fixing like shelves for Frito Lay at every store we went to. It didn't matter
Look.
what we went in for. I would be like, "Oh, let me check on this," and on top of that, I would know who the driver was.
Oh,
So like, I
no.
would be like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?" or whatever, and like I'd fix it. But like, what was really wild is like Gabby like got to a point. She was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And I would do it in front of her, and I'll
Mhm.
be like, "Look, this is why this works." And I would put the shelf out, right, fix the order of the things, and I
Right.
would be like, "See, this is why we do this." And then I would tell her, "Yo, just step back and watch with me." And then like a kid would walk over, grab the chips that I told her they'd grab, and I'll be like, "See, I got them, son."
Look, I when it comes to folding stuff and putting I don't do it much at home, or I do it in such a way that it's just so casual I don't even realize it. But the way I can take a t-shirt and just flip it at the shoulders and lay that shit down and it looks like it's been folded on a board. I did that in front of some comics like Joe Firestone. We were all talking and we all got these t-shirts and I did it and folded it and then put it on top of my bag and kept talking and she's like, "Wait, wait, 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 wait. How did you just do that?" And I was like, "I did a 2-year, bid at the Gap, baby. That's how." And, like, yeah, absolutely. I stack thing, I'm like, You don't have big girls are not gonna reach all the way down here. I hate how y'all do us.
Mhm.
Put an extra large, put 2 extra larges and a double X up here on the top of the table. Now we're not just sticking with our ass out. Because once someone walks by and your ass is brushed, and this is literally in the book, once your ass is brushed, people stand up, they're embarrassed, they'll step away from whatever, and they'll never go back to it. So you need to have enough room for people to bend over on either side.
Real
That's
talk.
literally from the Why We Buy book.
That
I
shit
l
crazy. They think of
yeah,
so much
but
weird
it's
shit, but
just
it makes
all of
sense.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Real
Watching it,
talk.
just the science behind why people shop the way they do is so great.
I'm gonna say this publicly, but a part of me wants to delete this from the pod so that you can have this. This should be your hour. Low key. It's so fucking dope. If you on some real shit, I have not seen you this inspired in a solid like 4 or 5 years.
Oh,
This is
man.
like bringing pure joy out of you.
That's only because you also are into it. That's why.
Yo, but this is such an ill thing to market. Like, yo, you heard about Shaq got a whole hour on economics and marketing. Real talk.
I'm bad at the numbers part of it, only at the science behind it, and even then, just like it's a simple science. It's
Oh
not.
man.
It totally makes sense. Like, oh, I don't know what it. I here. Okay, here's what I am requesting from Troops and Correspondents. If this is anything that you are interested in, fantastic. If anyone has written books or articles about this for the for how retail is now, because I mean, they're trying to turn malls into apartments. That's how fucking empty they are.
Yeah.
So, we've all changed the way we shop. And I see certain things like I've seen trends, but if there's anyone who's written about it in a very basic, explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old way,
Yeah.
holla at your girl, let me know. Like in
Real
a
talk.
very somewhat entertaining, like social sociology bend or like just a social science, like in some way that um really speaks to someone who has not gone to school for this. And it's entertaining without being like uh dry.
Mm.
Because that's the important thing is like who writes the kind of stuff
Yeah, that's real.
behind this. So if you know of any works that are like that, let me know because I can only I can only comment on what I've seen, but I've not really I don't quite have the language for what I've seen like online and what works and like how things are changing now and what to look for, when shopping and how they grab you and all these other what are the tricks of the trade and how to make someone feel comfortable like when they first come to your site. What's the um, where's the zone where you decompress? Where's the decompression zone?
Right.
When you first walk in and you look around of like, "Huh, where am I? What am I trying to get to? Where is that online in an online store? What does that look like?" And I know there's like that first page and you know what I mean, but like how does it look now that it's on your phone,
Right. I love
basically?
this.
So,
Real talk, we're gonna do a whole episode on marketing. They
yeah,
be like,
just
yo, the
let
brand is
let me know
pivoting.
what's out there that's, for the pea brain, whatever writing that's out there for the pea brain. That I'm
You
into, but a
into it?
whole a whole hour, I mean, that would have to be my corporate hour. That's
I mean,
my
we half hour in shot.
that's my corporate hour then. And
Yo,
then
cause
who wants to hear I mean, I don't know, they should pay money to wanna hear from someone who's like, "I'm an idiot, but here's what I've read and here's what I see."
real talk, I think you sleeping on this. Low key. This could be it for you, shot. Real talk. You on tour with Nate McIntosh yelling. Real talk, yo. Y'all out here yelling. Yo. By the way, this might be the first episode ever where we shout out 2 redheaded comics. Shouts to Nate, shouts to Joe Firestone. Love y'all both.
Oh, right, yeah.
That is, yo, I don't know who had that on the bingo call for the war report, but you've been
That's
waiting.
true. Yeah, those are 2 names that, I guess, yeah, we have not shouted out before, but God bless them, they're so funny.
Real
But
talk.
yes, no, that's true. That is
Nate got a
true.
dope album out there. Check it out about a lot of economic stuff.
Mhm.
And I think Joe just put out a new book.
Yeah, yeah, she
Right?
did.
Murder on Sex Island, I think it was.
Is that what it's called? I know it's something on an island, but I don't pay
Check those
attention to
out.
the islands.
Yeah, they my favorite redheads. They dope. Real niche group of comedians I rock with. That's how I divide them.
I mean, sometimes that helps.
Hey,
Sometimes when people are trying to describe someone to me, and the things that they're saying, I'm just like, "Give me a hair color."
Yeah, real talk.
Because if you give me a hair color, I know which folder to look at in my brain.
real
Oh,
talk. I got
oh,
4 redheads. I got
okay,
the
hold
two of
on.
them, Jess Solomon and Freddie G. Those are my redheads.
Those are
Real
your
talk.
red okay,
Those are my
alright.
redheads right there, yo. That's how I clock them. Like, all right, those are my peoples. If you a new redhead, you got to be real funny as a redhead to crack that 4. You know what I mean? And I'm open to it, but it's rare. Those are my peoples.
Oh my gosh.
Uh, I don't know how to pivot back besides saying it. Let's get into the news.
Let's get into the news.
Let's see. Kicking us off here. Detroit restaurants identified as black owned on Yelp saw a slight drop in their business ratings. When an online review platform, Yelp, added a black owned tag in 2020, it boosted the visibility of black owned restaurants in Detroit. It also caused a ratings drop, according to a recent study. Both
Well,
local,
damn. Can't
both,
win for losing.
both local and non-local reviewers who showed awareness of a restaurant's black ownership rated the restaurants at 3.03 stars on average. Those who did not acknowledge black ownership gave ratings of 3.78 on average. The tag seems to have caused the average rating to drop by attracting more reviewers who were aware of black ownership. Why this matters is because technology companies often introduce new features and tools. And although Yelp intended to support black communities with the black owned tag, the design intervention was actually harmful to black restaurant owners in Detroit because Yelp failed to consider that the platform and the community based factors that significantly shape their user interactions, aka Yelp's user base is predominantly white, educated, and affluent, and not used to going to black
Right.
owned restaurants in Detroit. And that's almost verbatim from the article, like, but that's funny as shit. Uh, for example, non-black users sometimes mention slower and rude services as justifications for lower ratings. Close readings of these reviews hinted at intercultural and communicative clashes.
Wow. Wow. I
Real
mean,
talk.
yeah. I what do you like, what do you do? You know? What do you do? Because this says that, Yelp allows restaurants to businesses can remove the black-owned tag, but Yelp
Mhm.
doesn't provide a way for them to opt out of search results.
Right,
So, if you are just bored and wanna look up black-owned anything on Yelp just to give them shit, e even if the tag like, even if you're not tagged, you're still in the search results
right.
for Yelp. So, you know.
And it's so like this is one of those things where like first off, like I your initial intention for most of you is good. You're trying to be an ally, you're trying to
Mhm.
support a black owned business. You're an outsider, but you want to come through. Respect, appreciate that sincerely. Um, but you don't just come for the food. You coming for an experience. You know what
Right.
I mean? So you got to be aware that like the culture is different here, and the food, what's considered the right experience here
Mhm.
is different than yours.
Right.
So like you got to grade it with that in mind. You know what I mean? So like
Yes.
when the when the person at the counter gives you a little attitude and sauce, we want that. You understand? That's part of my joy is ordering that.
Or we some of us don't necessarily want it, but we know that it's part of it.
We know that it's
So
part of
we
it.
don't we're just like, "Yes, okay.
Real
Yes,
talk.
great." You know?
Real t- I don't get mad at all the people dressed as mouse when I go to Disney. I know
Yeah, you
that's
went to
part. Yeah,
Disney.
I went to Disney, my G. I know that's
Yeah.
part of the thing. Like, why are
So
these people smiling and dancing here? Because that's what we do in Orlando, my G. You know what I mean? That's part of the thing. So
Right.
when you go to get, beef patties and Roddy, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, you got to know what you're going in
You
for, and
gotta
that's
know.
how they do it.
You gotta know what's happening. I, okay. What was I gonna say about this? Because this is so oh, I know. Just the other day, I was thinking about, um, Aunt Jemima
Okay.
because you remember at the height of, "Oh, shit, we gotta do something about the black thing," of 2020. Um, Aunt Jemima, the name of that brand changed to what? Pearl uh, uh, Pearl Refining Company or some shit like that?
Yeah, like they like pivoted. Pearl Millen?
Pearl Milling Company, yes. Um, and, I to me, it always felt like, "Well, no, baby, that's not the problem." You know what I mean?
Real talk.
Like, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's I'm sure there was racism baked in from from the root. That's literally how this country is here. So,
Mhm.
so then I guess it's just not Jemima, but for to then say, well, we'll just get rid of that name and we'll call it something else. I wonder how their sales are doing
Yeah.
because, like, eh, when I see it, I see so much of it on the shelves, and I'm just like, "What the fuck is the Pearl Milling Co" every time. I'm like, "What is this? It's got so" oh, right, Aunt Jemima. Every time I look for and I'm not even buying it. It's not even my syrup of choice, but
Ooh, what are you, a syrup of
oh, I'm
choice?
a log cabin.
Ooh,
I'm a lot
okay.
yeah, I'm special like that. I eat like I graduated from college. I get log cabin. It's all literally liquid it doesn't matter. But after log cabin would be Mrs. Buttersworth, which is why
Yeah, I was gonna say that I'm curious what their sales have happened since the Aunt Jemima change.
well, I feel like with Mrs. Buttersworth, you can't tell because it's just the bottle.
You
So you
bugging.
don't
That
you don't
shop.
look. I know, look, I know.
Shop.
I know. I
Miss
see how the bottle is
Butterworth's
shaped.
I was gonna say that is the baddest chick I've seen in my life is that
I
bottle.
I see the bottle, but if you remember those old commercials, the voice was decidedly,
Yeah,
like, Caucasian. Not in like a, "Oh my god, I'm syrup" kinda way, but, like, in a just, like, for what how it looks,
right,
the vocal choice was definitely, "No, this is, like, your mom or just a
right.
neighbor," and I'm like, "No, that's Miss Butterworth." That's who that is. And, so, yeah. So I think that's how they probably skated by, but I bet during 2020, those execs were like, oh, no. Are they burning Aunt Jemima and Effigy? Oh, no. Effigy, yeah. So I am curious how those Aunt Jemima numbers are doing now that
Real
they've changed
talk.
the name because it just felt so empty. There were so many empty to me, there were so many things that felt moves that felt empty.
Nah, for
That
sure.
was one. Any neighborhood that wrote Black Lives Matter in the middle of the street, like with chalk, I was just like, I mean, that chalk washes away.
Yeah,
I don't need it labeled in the street. You don't have to get rid of Aunt Jemima. That's not where the problem is.
at
I,
all.
I mean, so this is just another example of that, of just like, "Hey, remember, look, black owned, that's what you're looking for, right?" And it's like, "Yeah, but you know who else is looking for it? The people." You know what I mean?
Alright, they don't rock with us, and now you made it easy for us to be found.
Yeah, so and also, um, for white people who are complaining about what happened, like, the flow of any other restaurant that's not, to your eye, normal or, doesn't run the way that you expected and blah, blah, blah. Yo, do you have anyone that could go, a non-white person that can go to the restaurant with you and walk you through it? Like, is there something you mean you can't ask I mean, Yelp is what it is, but I'm like, so there's no black person that you can ask, like, "Hey, have you been to such and such? What's it like?" And be close enough that they're not like, "Why are you talking to me for the first time in 2 years?" Like, not a coworker, like someone that you're actually friends with. Maybe work on that rather than write fucking reviews of how the things were slow.
I mean, this was, literally my job for a while. As you I don't know if you remember, I had a show in Flatbush at
Oh, yes.
right on Flatbush Ave, Flatbush Zombie House was the name of the location. Enjoyed it, fun times. Also, some of the most stressful shows I've ever done.
I
But
can't believe was the name of the venue Flatbush Zombie House?
it was called the Zombie House, I believe. Yeah, like I thought it was named after. I thought it was the rap group's location for a
Oh,
while.
Flatbush Zombies, right.
Yeah, I thought it was their
I
place
gotta
for
be
a hot
honest
minute.
with you. That is I don't know if much research was done of opening a place called Zombie House in a Caribbean neighborhood. My, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
it was interesting.
Like, did you do any research? That's
Yo,
like when, somebody painted a mural in Southwest Atlanta with snakes, and then everyone was confused as to why the people over there didn't fuck with snakes. I was like,
yeah.
"Have you met any religious are you serious right now? You gonna paint the devil? You gonna paint the devil on the side of a building and just be like, 'That's cool, right?' Get the fuck out."
Hey,
Alright,
they tried
whatever.
their best. They offered a lot of weird dope tiki drinks for every
Right,
different
yeah.
culture,
I
and
I think I did the show once. It was a nice room,
yeah,
and they had all of they had flags for all of the Caribbean
yeah.
countries hanging because I even saw Saint Kitts, which is, I believe, where my dad's family is from. So I was just like, "Oh, you don't see Saint Kitts very often."
No, they put effort.
They did, like, they did some research.
Yeah, all the walls were like really famous, successful, dope black artists. Some of them niche. Like my man was like, "Yeah, I'm a big Tribe fan." My man had Fife. I was like, "Damn, B, like you got like I understand Fife got fans, but to have like a Fife poster when
Right,
you got like 3 poster spaces in your wall in
right,
your
and
venue,
Fife gets one.
yeah,
That's
like that's a
impressive.
choice, bro." Like I was like, "All right, you for real like researched a little bit."
Right, right.
But he was also not a member of the community. He was a
Yes.
fan. So like I also saw certain that's why my initial thought was like, man, this dude gotta be a member of the Flatbush Zombies. And then I met the dude, could not be further from the rap group. Sweetheart of a guy, but was
But
not that.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, but yeah, like when we would book comics who were not of the culture and not from
Mhm.
Brooklyn, the place next door to the place was Pepper's, legendary Brooklyn
Right.
staple, but they operate a very particular way. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And I would have some people that would go next door, like because they would hear the local black comics recommend it, like, "Yo,
Mhm.
Peppers, that's the spot." And they would come out, then they would be like, "Yo, Gastor, I stood there for 30 minutes. Nobody said hi to me." I was like, "Yep, you're gonna keep standing there if you don't walk up to that counter."
Yeah, come on, buddy. Go up to the counter, have an
Yeah.
idea. Have
They
an
were
idea.
like,
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that is a place where you probably need to do research before you come in there, or at
bro,
least have been in a place something like it. Because I feel like when I did your show, I don't know if you were there, but I know Jeff was there.
yeah, yeah,
Jeff's and so he was like, "Oh, no, next door is like, this is really great place and blah, blah, blah," and I'm like, "Alright," and I walked in, I'm like, "Oh, okay. It's a Caribbean spot, got it."
yeah.
And I was just kind of absentmindedly just kinda looking around, and the woman at the counter was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh, my bad. Let me get this and this," and she's like, and I'm like, "Rice and peas, please. Just give me peas and rice and a come on, just come on. I'm sorry." I was taking it all in, and you're right, I wasn't fully paying attention, but
That's on
just
me. I'm gonna own
that
that.
yeah, that's fine, but yes, just peas and rice and the other thing, and, yes, thank you.
My favorite moment that I I was waiting for like my order and like I saw somebody walk in. They're like, "Yo, can I get a rice, peas, and barbecue chicken?" And she's like, "Nah, we done with the barbecue chicken." And then you could see them making barbecue chicken. You know what I mean? Like literally couldn't be more clear. Like I'm talking like the label of the sauce said
Right?
barbecue.
Just
Everybody saw
huge
it.
someone stacking huge trays that just say barbecue chicken on the side.
So homie's like, "Yo, but that's barbecue chicken right there." She's like, "Nah, pardon me. We don't got barbecue chicken for you. That's for somebody else." And I'm like, "Yo, that's real." Like, but that shit, like in my soul, I couldn't like I laughed in his face. Like, "Yo, homie, like I feel you."
Right.
But that's part of it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's been pre-assigned. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
who
where it
for,
goes.
but it ain't yours.
I
You
know.
know, but in turn though, like that's one of my favorite places. Like I've told people before, look up the Yelp reviews. They are hilarious. It'll be people like, yo, food arrived 2 hours late, but
But
spectacular, 5 stars. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like still worth it. By the
Oh,
way, fun fact before we continue, Miss Butterworth in 2009, they officially added her first name, Joy.
Joy. See, that still
Yeah,
can go either way.
yeah, it's still either way. Joy Butterworth.
Joy,
Putting it out there.
joy, butter. I don't. How much? Okay, joy. I'd like to see the meetings. Let me see the minutes of the meetings that they had in order to come up with joy.
I like the name Joy. I don't think it goes with
Not
Butterworth.
with Butterworth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, is it Buttersworth or Butterworth?
Buttersworth. Pardon me.
Are there?
Um,
Oh, there are plural butters. There are
oh,
multiple butters. How many is it? Is there an
I
S
believe
in
it's
it?
plural Butterworth, but not Buttersworth.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Butterworth.
Butterworths.
And
So
then
this Butterworth is
it's
one person.
possessive because it's Mrs.
The
Butterworth's syrup, basically.
right, nailed it.
Got it,
Yeah.
okay. Alright,
So it's
Joy
Joy. Her name
Butterworth.
would be Joy Butterworth.
Is she married, did they say? No, I
So
mean
Mrs. would assume because of the time period, right?
okay,
At that
she
time,
was Mrs., right? She wasn't Ms. Oh,
no,
man, imagine a
MRS.
Ms. Butterworth, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
Back then, that was the thing. You know what I mean?
Right,
I remember
okay.
being corrected by a teacher once when I called her Mrs. And she was like, I'm Miss, actually. I was like, oh, my bad.
Ooh, sorry. Yeah,
Real talk.
Mrs. just means you're not married, right? And then Ms. is when you're divorced. I think that's what they
Ooh,
decided on in the yeah, your Miss means you're not married.
that's
Mrs.
MS.
Yeah, no, MISS.
MISS means not married.
Right. And then
Okay.
MRS is Mrs., that means you're married. And then
Married.
MS was I feel like the developed later, like in the 70s, and it meant you were divorced.
Oh. What if you were like if your husband passed away? What do
Oh,
you
well,
fall?
that's on you. You probably I mean,
You
since
could
it's
do any of the three.
outdated anyway, you probably still were Mrs. Were you planning on using that last name still? Then you were probably Mrs.
Oh,
Just to show that you were married,
you were. Got you.
because 'cause you're widow instead of divorcee. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Look
There's
at
an
that.
implied shimmy to divorcee, which is why it was Ms.
That's kind of ill, huh? Look at that. Learn something new. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell. I'm deaf dying first. I'm gonna tell Gabby she got options. You know.
Right, yeah. I had a teacher who, would change, like, she was married and then got divorced and then got remarried, and so, I guess before she was married, she must have used her maiden name or whatever, but when I first heard of her, it was in high school, when I first heard of her, she had her her then married name. So
Okay.
she was Mrs. and then that name. And then some summer she got divorced. So then she went to Ms. and then back to her maiden name for a year.
Ooh.
And then the following year she met someone and got married again. And then she went back to Mrs. with the new last. And I was like, hey man, is this why perhaps you keep getting married and divorced and married? You seem a little high maintenance. Just pick one.
Stick to it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
just stick to it. I mean, date, marry however you wanna do, but because it'd be fine if she just switched it and then someone said the wrong name and she's like, "That's cool." But when you said the wrong name, she was so just like, "It's blah, blah, blah," and I'm like, "Bitch,
Yeah.
calm
I don't get
down."
mad like that over my first name,
You
Gabby.
literally have only been back at that name for, like, 3 months. Come on.
Yeah. Send out a newsletter.
Yeah. If I look
Yeah.
in last year's yearbook, that ain't even the name under your picture. So you understand why I'm confused. I don't keep up with you. What you doing?
Oh man. In other news, Chuck E. Cheese is opening arcades for adults. That's
What?
right. Chuck E. Cheese is not for kids anymore. The arcade chain is opening a spinoff aimed at adults called Chuck's Arcade. That's the
No.
company description.
Nope. No. 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 Right? No, I think we can agree no to Chuck's Arcade.
I'm with
No.
you. I'm with you. This doesn't seem right. Yeah, they're trying though. Similar to the kiddie version, Chuck's Arcade has a mix of nostalgic arcade games like Donkey Kong, Mortal Kombat, and newer titles like Halo and Connect Four Hoops. Plus,
Connect
each
Four
arcade.
Hoops? What the fuck is Connect? Okay, you
Yeah,
know
I
what?
don't know
You
either,
keep
Shot.
reading. Imma look up Connect Four Hoops.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't know that. Plus, each arcade is overseen by one of the chain's iconic animatronic characters, including Chuck E. Cheese himself. 10 are open so far at malls across the United States, with arcades in St. Petersburg, Florida, Tulsa, Oklahoma, El Paso, and St. Louis. Each location looks different, decorated with original artwork that celebrates the brand's past. There will be prizes for adults to win, and arcades will have old school merch available for purchase. Okay, I am. I like the idea. I think it's still not right. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think when you if anyone had done the research, they would know that if you decide to do something and you say it's the adult version, that automatically means somebody's naked.
Yeah.
That's you can't, "Oh, this is the adult arcade," especially because in the adult entertainment world, an arcade is a viewing booth. It's where you go and they just
Ooh.
show scenes,
Right.
from different pornos, and you're in there doing whatever it is you need to do, getting your nails done, whatever it is you need to do while watching this is what you're doing. So that's what arcades are in adult entertainment. So for
Right.
you to say it's a adult arcade and now it's called Chuck's Play, which I guarantee is the name of a of like a porno. Like there's got to be just like a whole string of porn called Chuck's Place. You down at
Yo,
Chuck's Place or whatever.
it's
And
definitely
also,
a gentleman's club. Chuck's
it's
Place is like I've been there. I don't even know, but I feel like I have.
yeah.
Chuck's Place is a spot in Astoria, Queens, that
Yeah.
opens at like midnight.
Chuck A, yeah, there's a back entrance to Chuck's Place. Also, I think, the thing isn't Chuck isn't the great thing about his name. It's that
Fair.
the E stands for entertainment.
Yeah.
That his middle name is entertainment is what's great about Chuck E. Cheese. And you
Right.
can look that up, listeners. Troops Correspondent, you can look that up. That is documented fact. His name is Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Amen.
So there's that. And then look here, man. If they don't have that band up there performing like um, you know, like classic R&B slow jams.
See, that's why I love you, Shy.
Because
Keep going.
I mean, if we're going where I'm taking an adult arcade, Imma need Chuck the Rat up there singing Quiet Storm stuff. I need him singing
Yo.
like Freddie Jackson. I need him singing like I
Real
need doing
talk.
Luther. I need whatever the girl, animatronic. I don't know if Chuck E. Cheese had a girlfriend or just a friend who was a girl or whatever. I need her doing Anita Baker. Like, I need let's really do
Real
it up.
talk. See, like and you helped me clarify what my issue was.
Mm,
Chuck E. Cheese, I'm not knocking it. We all got memories there.
right.
The part, and I think it's cool to try to capture nostalgia. I think that's cool, but
Mhm.
you got to pick the right vehicle. Nobody our age or older who went to Chuck E. Cheese is thinking, yo, you know what would be cool if we went to Chuck E. Cheese without the kids. Like, I don't want I like that's not the part of the experience that like I could look back on it fondly, but I
Mhm.
don't want to do that at 40. I don't want shitty pizza. I don't even want to play they're playing the same video. I don't want to play those video games for money. I want to play them for free at my house. Um the alcohol thing, like everything that's good about this is a Applebee's.
No, it's a Dave& and Buster's.
Yeah,
Look,
like
let
it's
me
been
tell you,
done already.
it has been done, without the weight of Chuck hanging around.
Yo,
Chuck E.
let that
Cheese is
dude
an
chill.
albatross on this thing, and later on in this article, it says the launch of Chuck's Arcade comes amid troubles for its chief rival, Dave& and Buster's. Dave& and Buster's is publicly traded and recently reported a 9.4 5% decline in same-store sales,
Ooh. Chuck
with
coming
its
at your neck,
new
Dave.
management trashing ill-advised changes implemented by previous leadership that included too many adjustments at once. I wonder what they were trying to switch up at a Dave& and Buster's. Because I mean, here's the thing with Chuck's Arcade, what I'm not seeing is, any, liquor drinks.
You
Okay,
need that.
some arcades will serve food, like the Kansas City location having a pizzeria that also serves a small selection of beer and wine, but that's literally already Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, that's what
They
I'm saying.
already
Like,
sell beer and wine at Chuck E. Cheese.
yeah, like this feels like after hours they just flipping a sign. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like you ain't doing nothing new, my G.
What if, like, the sign goes, and then all of it except for the Chuck and Arcade stay lit, and then, like, at 10:30, it just, and then yeah, I think that's the issue. But I mean, they are putting them in places where maybe you don't have as much to do. St. Petersburg, Florida, Tulsa, Oklahoma, El Paso, St. Louis.
Not to shit on y'all, but it ain't popping over there.
I mean, yeah, but I
You
think
need
if you're gonna go, that since this is already Dave& and Buster's, basically, I think you have to go over the top with it.
yeah, I think your instinct's right. I want to hear Keith Sweat older.
Yeah, I think there's that, but I think you need to make it like a fucking speakeasy. Because I mean, even here in New
Ooh,
York, there's like Barcade, where it's like it's
right.
an arcade with a bar. Come on, and it's
That's
still the
it.
old things, and people still go. I think you need to make it like almost like it's fine dining. Like it's a speakeasy. You got to go in through a fucking telephone booth or some shit. And then you go in and the lights are low. You order like nice food, but your table is a sit down Miss Pac-Man tabletop game. You see what I mean?
Yo, if you would like to go to the first Zagat review, Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, like let's really do it up. Like
Real talk.
deconstruct it, like take the classics that you would feed children, but do them differently. Let's put who's the guy? Who's the cook guy who also wrote a book and had a TV show? Eddie Wong,
Okay.
who was
That's the fresh off the
fresh
boat
off
guy?
of the boat. Yeah,
Yeah.
fresh off the boat. Have him do some shit. Or like, you know what I mean? Let's really like let's have foam chicken nuggets, but it's foam. You know what I mean? Like let's top chefify this shit. Like
I
and
love
make
this
it
shit.
like they make like this, you know how there are restaurants that have like some sort of ridiculous burger that they only
Right.
make 20 of a night and you just got to be there in time. They release 2 an hour and you just have to be lucky enough to get those like make it like some sort of weird, like, make it a thing outside of, like, "Yeah, so we took out all the baby changing stations in the bathroom, and now this is Chuck's Arcade." Like, that's not the same. That's not
At
the
all.
same.
At all. They didn't even take them out. They just repurposed them. Or like, oh, those are the counters now. You know what I mean?
Right. And
Come
there are
on, B.
already big places that are probably struggling right now, maybe, that were like these arcades, but then they also had, like, a go-kart track or something. Like, this
Yeah.
is or mini golf. Like, this has already kind of been done.
Real
Chuck,
talk.
go the other way. Go like real indie, like bands play. You know? Actually
Yeah.
get Keith Sweat in there to sing. Don't
Real
make that
talk.
mouse do it.
Yo. Low key, that's kind of what I was hoping for. Like, I don't want Chuck E. Cheese, the brand still got value.
Mhm.
I just don't think it's in the restaurant game anymore. You gotta let that go. I
Mm.
want a movie, you know what I mean? Talking about the dark side, like the afterlife for Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay, do you want this like animated or do you want
I want this A24. You know what I mean? I want to see the I want to see Chuck cry.
Okay.
Downfall
Okay.
of his empire. You know what I mean? I want Chuck Jr. talking to his dad, like, yo, listen, I just want to paint,
Okay. Okay. All
like a
right.
whole like just keep the world building, you know what I mean?
Okay. Who's who are we getting? Who we getting to make this? Paul Thomas Anderson? Is that who we getting? That's who I'm
I
gonna
love
throw
that.
out Paul Thomas Anderson.
Real talk.
Yeah.
I want the moonlight poster coloring. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, so we want we want
Real
Barry
talk.
Jenkins or PTA or my personal favorite, Steven Soderbergh. Um,
Yo, real talk. Life after the cheese.
like,
You know what I mean?
look, if Soderbergh does it, the whole movie's gonna happen in golden hour. Everything's gonna look beautiful. You're gonna be
I
like,
think there's
"Oh,"
something here.
or we could get Ari Aster, like, didn't he do Midsomner? Like, we can
Let's
do
do
that.
it. Like, let's go there. I'm telling you, yo.
We can make it Heredity, but it's
You see Chuck just walking around smoking a little.
oh, wow, okay, alright.
It's something here. I don't know, man. I think the IP got legs, but you got to let go of this like idea of we got to keep pushing these restaurants. Like,
Okay.
it's a hard industry to win at too, my G. Like,
The IP I mean, look, they made a Barbie movie. They just
yeah,
completed filming a He-Man movie. I feel like you may be right that the IP's got legs.
the IP got legs. I think there's nostalgia here for real,
I
and
think
people would be
so.
interested in the less explored
Oh, but we
backstory.
can't go horror because there's already a Chucky horror.
Yeah, and they already did that with the Winnie the Pooh. Like, I want to go emo
Okay.
direction.
Okay, alright, so we do wanna go emo direct okay,
I
alright.
like that. You know what I mean? I think there's something there.
I
It
mean
could even be as simple as like a story about like life as a second arc. You know what I mean? Maybe Chuck is in his 50s, 60s. You know what I mean?
okay, so we're
He's
thinking
bringing the
maybe
band
like a
back together.
Noah Baumbach. Look
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yo, like and
Oh,
subscribe to
wow.
the show, baby.
Wow.
You
Yeah, we've really tapped into 2 things that I 2 interests of mine. Marketing and then the naming the right director for a thing. I mean, if we want yeah, because Wes Anderson would be too easy.
yeah, and that's been done.
Right, with I don't know if what we want for Chuck E. Cheese is what happens with Isle of Dogs or Fabulous Mr. Fox, but if we go Noah Baumbach, I think there's room. I think there's for second acts for, like, an older
Yeah.
Noah's our guy for that one.
Real talk, yo. Uh, if you are an Apple Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. You didn't like white noise. This ain't for you, okay?
Oh, I still have to watch that. Who did anyone I gotta watch it because I am quiet as it's kept. I'm kind of Baumbach hive, but I haven't watched that one yet. I may do that tonight.
Real talk. 5 stars, you into us, all right?
Did
You
you
like this
watch White
idea.
Noise?
I watch low key, shot. I'm a fan too.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
but like I was a fan not realizing it. Like, I'd
Oh.
seen a lot of his pieces, didn't know they were his. Like, I
Oh,
saw
okay.
Greenberg.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's the one where like it's the Mayorwitz, I forget to say the last name.
Oh, the Merowitz, yeah,
The
fam
Marriage
yeah.
Stories, I think it was. And
Yes, yes, yes.
Marriage Story I saw. That
Uh-huh.
was admittedly that was probably the one I liked the least of the others,
Oh,
but
wow.
it was a
Oh,
real thing. Like,
let me tell you then, what the one that you need to see,
yeah.
The Squid and the Whale.
Okay. I haven't
It's
checked that.
it's, because you know me, I got in early, and I was just like, "Oh, I done fucked around and seen all of his movies," and didn't even but The Squid and the Whale, it's not a long movie, it's really probably like an hour 40 or something like
Okay.
that, and it is whereas Marriage Story is telling the breakup of a marriage from the point of view of, like, the adults,
Right.
Squid and the Whale is telling it from the point of view of the kids, like
Oh,
teen
okay.
kids, and it's so funny. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Squid and the
I'm
Whale,
in. I'm in. And also,
absolutely.
like, once I found out that I had been watching his films and enjoying them, I
Mhm.
did the recon. I could never not be a fan because he's from Brooklyn. I didn't know that. Now I'm in. I was like, oh yeah,
Okay,
he
yeah,
one of
right.
mine. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
and like not just born and like left. Like, he grew up here. That shit real. It's dope.
yeah.
Real talk. Shouts to the homie Noah from the block. You know what I mean?
Like, if Noah Baumbach listens to this, mind blown. I don't even know what I'll do with myself.
Real talk. He been a fan. Watch. Low key, he gonna be like, oh yeah, that's I've been waiting for a shout out.
How they shout out Joe Firestone and not me? Ain't that some shit? Complaining to Greta. Ain't that some shit? I've been listening. I've been a troop since.
Oh man, he's like, I'm one of the correspondents. I've been donating to the Patreon.
Under my burner account for years. Oh my God.
Oh man. Low key, I think he's not even the first Noah we shouted out. I'm pretty sure we shouted out
Garden Schwartz.
Garden Schwartz. I feel like we've done that. Yo,
Yep.
my bad, Noah. We've been slacking.
Yeah, we have been slacking, but you are one of our faves, it turns out, as we are learning today. We both enjoy you very much.
If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Shout outs this week to Brandy Spain and Aaron Anderson. Always appreciate y'all. With all that said, I am the newly excited for this Mickey Mouse beef getting started because he don't got a film like this. Okay, Noah Baumbach coming out.
Okay.
With a classic Chuck E. Cheese film.
Okay.
You know what I mean, Mickey Mouse is gonna be tight. He's like, yo, I even got a girl that like people know is my girl, and I don't got a love story like this, B. That's right, Mickey. We coming for your neck, okay?
Oh wow,
Real talk, yo.
Wow.
Noah Baumbach. Beautiful movie, okay? Dave and Buster's, you going out of business, okay? Real talk. Everybody getting shut down by this film. Y'all ain't expected, yo. Chuck E. Cheese winning Oscars, winning Emmys, winning Grammys.
Wow.
The musical
Someone's
coming
gonna
next.
EGOT off of this film.
Real talk. Easy.
Somebody's gonna
I see the spinoffs already.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Man. Oh my
It's happening.
goodness.
It's happening. Big fan. Admittedly, kind of pitching Noah to give me a small role in this. Gastor Almonte. Real talk. Let me be a dude on the bus while Chuck is riding home from a gig that like nobody went to.
Okay.
You know? That's what I want to be. I want to be the bus driver on that. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Real
good.
talk.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, like Chuck comes in, he don't got the right change. I'm like, yo, you my dude. Don't worry about it, homie. Rough night. You know what I mean? And he sits there and tells me about his shitty gig.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
That's gonna be me. You know what I mean? With a charge of set design, okay, because she's gonna bring all the nostalgia back. The colors are gonna be there. You know what I mean?
I mean,
you already heard her talk
colors.
about planogram. She knows it. Shalewa Sharpe. She's been ready for this role for 25 years. Okay.
Yeah, just honestly, no, just a picture. We could just take a picture together, and that would impress. I don't know if that would impress anyone. Honestly, that would just be. If I were to take a picture with a celeb, with most celebs, it really would just be for me because I'm like the people that I become like, oh my God, about. It's like who? I'm like,
yo,
yeah, that's fair. I'll put this on my bulletin board. You guys have no idea.
Yo, I love Noah is dope because of that exactly. Like low key, you could convince me that like I've hung out with Noah already.
Yeah,
like he's so everyman.
It is very possible.
Real talk. We probably been at the same deli. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah.
I mean,
you eat that?
He really manages to speak for a grumpy. He makes kind of what I say is like my favorite kind of movie, which is just like white people who are weirdly well off in the arts or arguing outside.
Yo, you know what? That explains it.
Yeah,
my connection to
these
films, I went to a predominantly white prep school. And I feel like the majority of the comedians I work with, this is what they go home to. You know what I mean?
Just I mean, if you need a movie about a guy who lives in a house with a bunch of books, and he's grumpy because he's in his 50s and he doesn't get along with either his dad or his son, and they're all grumpy in different ways. But they don't have the blow up about it until they're accidentally hiking or they're in a parking lot. And they all live upstate. Like I'm there. I love that
I'm into it
so much.
Oh, I'm so excited for the scene of Chuck E. Cheese rucking.
Oh my God.
Oh man. This has been
I don't know who this is for.
real talk. This is a very specific fan.
Yes,
So,
boy.
this low key might have only been for Shalewa. That's sort of the war report.
That might be.
Catch y'all next time. Peace.